As the story grows, I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Harrison Seanor and Chris Arnold from Downswing to the podcast. The new Downswing record, And Everything Was Dark, is out next Friday, October 24th on MNRK Heavy. The guys talk about their musical backgrounds, the formation and evolution of Downswing, bad record label experiences, growing as songwriters to create something memorable, and more. It's a huge new Music Friday next week. Tons of bands who have been on the podcast have new albums coming out. So make sure you go back, listen to the episodes that have aired the past few weeks, and compile a list and get ready to have a killer new Music Friday next week. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of As the Story Grows. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. Thanks for checking us out. You can find links in our show notes or at asthestorygrows.com for our mailing list, our Patreon page, and our Discord server. And if you like the show, I would love it if you subscribed on your podcast platform of choice. Enjoy today's conversation with Harrison and Chris from Downswing. You guys are up in Albany?
Yes, that's where we're based out of, absolutely.
Nice. Is that where you grew up?
Just around there.
In town. Yeah. What was growing up like?
Oh, gosh. I mean, it was decent. So I live in a small town called Cambridge, New York.
Okay.
Little town, one red light town, you know. My graduating class was 55 students, so I don't know. I like to think I had a peaceful upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's small.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, it was small for our school too.
Yeah. What about you?
Probably pretty the same. Like, it was pretty laid back. I did a lot of sports in high school.
Yeah.
Didn't really get into music until I was maybe like a sophomore in high school. Like, really into music.
Yeah.
I think that's when I started playing guitar and really like diving into the music life and what it's like to be a band, I guess.
Nice. Was there an injury that took you out of sports and into music, or was it just like once you discovered a specific band, you were like, or just playing guitar where you were like, fuck sports?
I mean, I did have an injury in high school where I broke my collarbone, but I don't think that affected like my future, so to say.
Okay.
I started going to more and more shows, and just like the atmosphere of the shows themselves, I was like, yeah, this is cool. And like seeing bands perform, you know, no matter who it was, I was like, yeah, this could be a lifestyle that I could get into.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, I know for me, I took martial arts, and then like I discovered punk rock and started playing guitar, and it was like, well, I don't want to do anything other than that now. Like,
yeah, literally.
That was the end of just like sports. Yeah. Well, what got each of you into music? I mean, especially for you, like what were bands or, you know, shows or scenes that really made an impact?
That's good.
I was really into bands like The Color Morale and What Was Me growing up. I think those are the two like heavy bands that I was like really into back then. Just like their music and lyrics and stuff. I felt like as an angsty teenager, I was like, yep, I can really connect with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of came in through the same way, like Avenged Sevenfold, Bullet for My Valentine. Once I discovered those, it kind of just took off from there. Turned into like the 2010s metalcore with like Attack, Ask Alexandria, and it just kept going. Snowballed into what it is now.
Nice. I've talked to a lot of bands, and like I keep getting older, the bands keep getting younger. But it seems like I keep waiting for that kind of MySpace metalcore rise record scene to be the thing that like influenced a generation of bands. But everybody still is like Linkin Park, Slipknot, and I'm like, at some point, the Under Oath and Attack Attacks had to like be the thing where everybody was like, "That's the band I want to be like," right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think in my brain, I put them all in the same category though, because it was all at the same time for me. Linkin Park, Slipknot, and all of those, you know, MySpace metalcore bands. Like it was I don't want to say weird time, but it was a cool time to be into that kind of music because there was just so much new stuff coming out and just new things to listen to. So I would wrap that all into one personally.
Gotcha. I think because I'm older, I'd have like two separate, like different time frames.
Yeah.
And I hated them both at the time. like Linkin Park, I was like, that's some Radio Rock bullshit. That is not for me. And then the MySpace stuff, I was just like, I don't, I'm too old to get this. And I'm even older now. So, because you were close to Albany or in Albany, like, did Albany have a good scene? It seemed like, yeah, you could go to shows. And was it just for touring acts or was it good for local bands?
I wasn't really in the like underground local scene much. But I feel like every show I went to that was like a heavy show, you know, I saw the same people. Everyone was really friendly. The shows were always packed. They always did really well. Everyone always took care of each other. Nice. So being in that scene, like, definitely helped me be like, yeah, this music is cool.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was starting off going to those big shows, like the big bands that would come through, and meeting people that, you know, were in different bands, finding out that there was a smaller scene in Albany. Yeah. I think it was probably thriving, you know, a lot more back maybe 10 years ago, you know, 7-8 years ago,
right around that 2010 to 2015 era.
But you know, at the time, for me, being from a small town and not really being integrated in that from the start, it was profound to see. There was definitely a scene for smaller bands, smaller venues where they could just come and play. And at the same time, all those people were going to the big shows, you know, all the tours that were coming through. So it was kind of, you know, a scene built on that from my standpoint.
Nice. From an outside perspective, it seemed like when that metalcore scene exploded, like, a lot more people were into it, right? When I got into heavy music, it was Converge and Dillinger, and nobody understood what I like. Where it seemed like once it was like the Attacks and, you know, Memphis May Fire and whatever, like that was this whole like level where everybody was kind of into it. That was like the it thing. Oh, yeah. Did that make it easy to, like, I don't know, have friends in that scene or friends at high school and start bands?
I think so. I mean, when you have a group of friends that all listen to the same amount of music, you know, not everybody might be like, I guess, as musically inclined, but it just made everybody want to do something, want to play, want to sing, you know, learn an instrument. And I can't say it made it easier to be in bands because obviously finding the right people is always hard, but
yeah.
But it definitely made it easier to feel like a community. Like it felt like, you know, a collection of people with the same kind of mindset that like the same things.
Nice. Harrison, were you always kind of vocally minded, or did you try an instrument and just flunked out of that? And I guess Anthony went to your guitar.
So I've always been a big music head. Music's always been a big part of my life. I don't know. I guess, like, I'd sang in bands before, but my first love, ironically, was the drums. I always thought I had a good rhythm, but I couldn't bring my feet, you know, into the equation when I actually played on a kit. So it transferred into guitar, and that was my first real passion. I was playing guitar from, I got my first acoustic guitar when I was 9, and you know, just started screwing around on that and started learning songs that I liked. And, you know, it turned into, you know, I love singing this song too. The first song I ever played and sang at the same time was, you know, Enter Sandman by Metallica. And that's when I was like, you know what, I think I could do this if I really tried hard at it. Nice. You know?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It's really funny because I started wanting to learn drums.
Okay.
And then
none of us were good at drums.
Yeah, I couldn't get my arms and feet to move at different times.
Yeah.
So I would often play without hitting the kick pedal. And that's a pretty important part of playing drums.
It's easier.
So then I was like, okay, I guess this isn't for me. I'm going to sell this drum kit that I just bought a week ago because this is too hard and I don't have the patience. So then I'm going to pick up a guitar instead. And then eventually that transitioned to playing bass for Downswing. So...
Let's talk about Downswing. How'd this band get started?
Oh, take that one.
So this band started back in 2016. We, with our old vocalist at the time that I was friends with, because we were also kind of, me and him were both more in the pop punk scene before we were in the heavy scene. So that's how I knew him. He ended up finding Anthony and Nick, that were looking for a vocalist for a more hardcore-esque band, and I've never listened to hardcore before. But he texted me and was like, hey, let's go jam with these guys. This could be something really cool. So I was like, okay, sure. I, packed up my little Fender Telecaster and my orange head.
Hell yeah.
And, went to Anthony's garage at his parents' house. And, I kind of didn't really know what I was doing. But for some reason, a couple practices in, things just started to click, and we all had a really good connection almost instantly. So I did learn a lot, and it really helped me play my instrument better. At the time I was playing guitar. So I did get to learn what a two-step was and what a real breakdown was, and how that transitions instrumentally and musically, aside from just that hi-hat beat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then from there, we literally started with the five of us at the time, just messing around for hours in this garage, and eventually we came up with our first demo tape that we titled Swing Style, and things kind of just snowballed from there. I mean, obviously throughout the years, it's been almost 10 years, we've had a couple member changes and stuff, but I would say 10 years later, three out of the four of us being original members is pretty cool to look back on.
Good. Yeah. Harrison, how then do you enter the picture?
Oh man, so I was in a few other bands at the time that the Downswing started.
Okay.
And what was the band? I was in a band. It turned into a band called Somewhere to Call Home, but before that we were called Through Her Eyes. Awful band name. And I remember we actually opened a big, what was the festival called that you guys, the first Downswing show? Sold Out Fest. And we opened that festival, and I remember Downswing play. It was their first show ever. They were after us. And I was so nervous because I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this band play. I don't think I'd ever met any of the fellas in the band at the time. Maybe Ant once or twice in passing, and it was always super friendly. Ant's such a good guy, but I remember the energy in the room when they played was unbelievable, and watching that instantly became a fan. And after they played, Ant kind of came over to me and my friends that were just chilling at the time and struck up a conversation, and we became friends after that. And when they were looking, we put out a record in 2020 called Good Intentions. They were looking for somebody that could play the guitar and, maybe sing some clean vocal here and there. And, I got a text and it was like, hey, we're looking to add another member. We know you can sing and play guitar at the same time. We'd love to have you over, just see if it works. And, how long ago was that now? Fucking 7 years later, here I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. with this new record, you guys are now on MNRK Heavy. How'd you get connected with the label?
Yes. Oh, jeez. They were the only one that wanted us.
I mean, yeah, to sum it up, our manager, Tuck, who plays bass in Fit for a King, you know, obviously we shopped the record around to other labels, and we had a couple conversations with some, and it seems like no one was really interested in the time. And then we ended up having a conversation with Kyle from Monarch, and his like energy on that call that we had, he just seemed so stoked about the record.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is really good. Like, we want you guys, and we're going to do X, Y, and Z to help bring this record and the band to the next level. And we've been signed in the past, obviously, to Rise Records and Modern Empire, and they were really bad experiences, to say the least. And to have a team from a label behind you that's really stoked and really like is in contact with you every day and is, you know, laying out like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do this week. Like, we talk to the guys over there almost every single day.
Just genuinely excited to
and they're
work
just
with us.
so stoked. And that really like made us confident, because our last release, our EP, Let This Life Devour You, we were kind of bitter at record labels because of the things that they've done for us in the past. We're like, well, we could just do that ourselves and own these songs. So we don't need a record label. But then we met the guys from Monarch, and we're like, okay, this is what it's really like. This is what it should have been all along.
It felt like home. It's a strange way to put it, but it really did, with people that genuinely are excited to work with you, are stoked to put out the new songs and like hear what everything that we have going on. It's like, it felt like a whole different world for us. It really did.
Yeah. It seems like there are certain labels that were not able to shift as the music scene has shifted so seamlessly, especially if they had success in a prior era. It like really fucked with them. There is a quote in this press release. Let me see if I can find it. It says, we're a lot more focused on structure and storytelling this song, or this time around. Before, things might have been more chaotic or riff driven. Now we're thinking about flow dynamics, what makes the song feel big and memorable. What kind of led you in that specific direction? I had to read it a few times, because at first I thought it was like a general like metal scene, and then I was like, oh no, they're talking specifically about themselves.
I mean, if I'm being honest, it really comes back to just what we listen to individually. A lot of the stuff that we listen to individually that has inspired us to, you know, write riffs and write this record. Over time, everybody's music tastes change, and when Downswing started, you know, we were going for a different, I wasn't even there. We were going for a different sound, and you know, over time it became like we almost felt pressured to put out that kind of material for our fans. And I would say within the past 4 years, we really were just like, you know what? We're going to write what we like collectively. And if certain people, you know, don't necessarily vibe with it, then so be it. We're going to write what we want to write, what we enjoy. And I think that that's translated really well onto the record.
Yeah.
We really wanted to still keep the high energy that our songs had in the past, but obviously we're getting older now. Our music taste and what we listen to has definitely changed. I think I can speak for everyone on that. And like we're really into really big choruses that have catchy hooks, but we also all look for that heavy breakdown. So Absolutely. That's kind of what we wanted to follow. We wanted high energy songs and still bring that with us, but we also wanted the big memorable choruses, but also still have the big heavy breakdown.
Yeah.
And
non-compromising.
I think this record does a really good job at bringing all three of those things together.
Yeah. I know certain music fans of a certain age might kind of shit on that, but it's like,
exactly.
I don't know. That's what that hook is so important to get people's attention. It's like, I know people like to hate on new architects, but if I listen to old architects, it's the same fucking thing, right? Like, I'm like, they haven't changed that much. Like, I don't know why you're so bitter. Like, other than you're old now. Like, Under Oath had fucking choruses. Like,
Under Oath is amazing. Exactly.
Right. Like, I don't know. So it's like you need that hook, right? Like, that's the thing that gets people to your band. That's the thing that draws you to it. I mean, I still love a Dillinger Escape Plan, but like, it's not the same, right? Like, that's memorable for different reasons.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, on this record, we definitely have songs where there is no hook, and it is just a heavy song, which is also really cool to be able to have both of those aspects on, you know, an 11-song record.
Perfect example of the dynamic flow. Like, just something we were going for. What sounds the best for each song, instead of like, oh, what would people want to hear? We're just like, no, we want to do this. Let's do that, you know?
Yeah. Album's called And Everything Went Dark. Obviously, bad label experiences, the world we live in currently. But what other things were kind of inspiring you or motivating you as you were writing this album?
Honestly, to just write the best. A lot of it came down to wanting to just write the best material that we could. Write the best songs we could. Write the best choruses, the best hooks, the heaviest breakdowns that fit the song. You know, just coming together as a band and just wanting the best, you know, outcome for whatever release was next. You know, and of course that coupled with the fact that like a lot of the like themes of the record, like you said, are just kind of like outside perspective viewing the world, man. Like, what a crazy world we're living in right now. There's so much bad happening, and like, so like that is tied into the theme. But with the songwriting and stuff like that, it really came down to just wanting to write the absolute best material we could.
What was the inspiration for the cover art?
And Everything Was Dark, man. It's like the world is coming after you, you know? You're being attacked from all sides, essentially, you know? It's, where can you really run? You know, where can you look to go and find like a true peace and a true happiness? Yeah. It's kind of like where we were inspired a little bit there.
Gotcha. Album's out October 24th. What's the plan for this fall? I went searching. I didn't see a website. Are you guys hitting the road or?
Yes, sir. We're headed out in November and December with Great American Ghost, Wrist Meets Razor, and Salt Wound. Nice. It's a full U.S. Super excited for that. We always love going to the West Coast and playing for people out there. We don't get to do that often, so that'll be a lot of fun.